me up.
It's an honor to be with you, and as I like to say, it's an honor to be any place they can pronounce my name correctly. This is a true story. I mentioned this the other day to one of you. When I first ran for office in Illinois, I said, "Hi, my name is Raja Krishnamoorthi," and the person in Chicago looked right back at me and said, "Roger Christian Murphy. Very nice to meet you." And then he said, "I didn't know the Irish made it to India." And so, in any case, it's wonderful to be with you. I want to observe those 3 rules of public speaking: be short, be sweet, and be gone. 3 points that I have. First of all, can you give a big round of applause to Congressman Khanna and Congressman Waltz for arranging today's India Summit. They are friends of mine. Of course, I came into Congress with Roe, and Mike Waltz and I sit on the House Intelligence Committee together. And I think it's the height of bipartisanship to jointly convene the India Caucus and have all of you here today. So thank you for coming all the way from points west and east and south, and of course from the Midwest to be here. The second point is I want to talk about you for a moment, Indian Americans. Indian Americans, in my opinion, are some of the finest people in America. I'm just a little bit prejudiced in that regard. But as I like to say, we are so proud of the accomplishments of Mother India, but its greatest export was you, Indian Americans. And I don't need to tell you about you, but I'm going to do so anyway. The last census from 2020 explained just how rapidly the Indian American community has risen in this country. Numbering between 4 and 5 million people today, the Indian American people are the fastest growing ethnic minority, are the best educated, the most prosperous, and some of the best looking people you're ever going to see. Okay, that was not in the census. I'm exaggerating a little bit. But all of the rest is true. And in all seriousness, you are just like my family, right? My family came to this country in 1973 when I was 3 months old. We came to Buffalo, New York, where my father was studying engineering at the University of Buffalo. And unfortunately, the recession of 1973 hit us very hard. My father lost all of his income. But thanks to the generosity of the American people, we were allowed to move into public housing and food stamps. And thanks to the generosity of the American people, we were allowed to stay until my father could complete his studies and then find an excellent job in, of all places, Peoria, Illinois. They loaded up the U-Haul truck and started driving and driving and driving until they reached Peoria. But that is where we enter the middle class. That is where the golden period of our lives began. And every night at the dinner table, my father would say, "Think of the greatness of this country. Think of the greatness of this country. And whatever the two of you do, my brother and me, just make sure this country is there for the next families who need it." So that became the North Star of my personal compass. Fast forward through college and law school, I came back to Illinois. I helped to start the anti-corruption unit of the Illinois Attorney General's office. Business was very good in the anti-corruption business. And then I went to the private sector. I ran a very small company. And then I ran for this job. And here I am. In my 4th term, I am trying to tackle that mission statement given to me by my parents, which is try to make sure this country is there for the next families who need it. My life has come full circle. But the reason why I'm in Congress is not just because the 750,000 people elected me to Congress, but because you did what you did. Because like my family, you came to this country with nothing in your pockets. Nothing. But you brought your values, you brought your culture, you brought your traditions, and you brought your work ethic. And you worked tirelessly day and night. Day and night to put food on the table for your families, a roof over their heads. You educated your beautiful children, and now look at you. You are a success in the greatest country the world has ever known, the United States of America. And, yes, you should clap for yourselves. And you are the pride of one of the great civilizations the world has ever known in India. So I stand on your shoulders to reach for the stars, to be part of the world's greatest deliberative body, the United States Congress. And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you have done in your own lives to stake deep roots. And as the old saying goes, tall trees have deep roots and provide lots of shade. And you provided that shade to many of us. Now let me transition to my third and final point, which is this. I'm one of 5 Indian Americans. I affectionately call us the Samosa Caucus in Congress. A small but mighty and spicy group of people spanning the political spectrum who are trying to do everything we can to give voice not only to the issues of the Indian American community, but all the communities that we represent, and of course the American public. In that regard, I'm proud to sit on the Oversight Committee and the Intelligence Committee, and I got named by leader Hakeem Jeffries as the ranking member of the Special Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party. It is the first time in our history that a South Asian or Indian American member of Congress has been named chair or ranking member of any committee of the House or the U.S. Senate. And so on that committee, I'm trying to give voice to all of our concerns in this room and outside this room with regard to that competition, that strategic competition with the Chinese Communist Party. But really, the bigger point I want to make is I hope that all of you take away 3 things when you leave today. 3 things. We have to get more involved in the civic and political life of this country. First, we have to vote. We have to vote. As many of you know, in our families, we like to talk politics. Now we have to do politics. So we have to vote. Second thing is we have to work on causes bigger than ourselves. As you know, many of you, if not all of you, are deeply involved in your communities. You support your mandirs, you support your gurudwaras, you support your mosques, you support your churches, you support all community institutions. Now, I hope that you'll also support political causes bigger than ourselves. That's very important, now more than ever. And then finally, I think it's time to run for office.
Yeah!
Ramesh is going to run.
No way!
The point is this, it's so important that we encourage our children and our loved ones to pursue a career in public service, including running for office. When I was growing up, my father said to me, Raja, you can do anything you want to do in life. I said, really? He said, yes. You can be a civil engineer, a mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, computer engineer, or a doctor. I ended up getting a BS in mechanical engineering. Of course, some people say I practice the BS part now. But the point is this, the sky is the limit for our community and our children. And I hope that you will encourage them to pursue running for office. Perhaps you or your children or family members will run for city council. Maybe you'll run for state house. Maybe for state senate. Maybe one of you or your children will run for the U.S. Congress. Though please not in my congressional district. Right, Deepak? Not in mine. But the point is, and thankfully we have organizations now, unlike before, that can support you, including Impact, including Aspire PAC, including so many important not-for-profits that are dedicated to the upliftment of our political voice. And I hope you take advantage and you invest in them. I'll close with my favorite saying, which is, yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today's a gift. That's why we call it the present. I'm honored and blessed to be with you here for just a few short minutes of your precious time to celebrate you and to celebrate how together we are going to make America and the world a better place. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you.